everyone.
Hi, Commissioner Good.
I didn't introduce myself to you. I'm Aaron. You Thurston? Oh, Timberline?
Way to go, right
The
answer.
Timber Slime.
Laser.
No,
Yeah.
for all three of them. All three too. I only
Okay,
have
you
two.
may go.
All right.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the City of Lacey Parks, Culture and Recreation Board. It is Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024, 5:30 p.m. I'd like to do introductions to start off, and let's start off online, please.
Amber Good, Vice Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Good.
Sue Baylash, Recreation Manager.
Hi, Sue.
Hi.
Is there anyone else online, Erin? Oh, Commissioner Larson, you want to start?
Gary Larson, Commissioner. Bill Fosbury, Commissioner.
Aaron Wheeler, Commissioner.
Byron Shoresman, Recreation Coordinator.
Remember your name? Sean Finney, Recreation Supervisor.
Commissioner Goodwin, Chair.
Nate Clay, Youth Commissioner.
Lori Davies, Commissioner.
Jenny Wilson, Senior Parks Planner.
Hi, Jen Burbidge, Director of Parks, Culture, and Recreation.
You all want to introduce yourselves?
Sure.
On this side.
Shannon Kelly Fong, Assistant City Manager.
Erin Quinn Belcho, Museum Curator.
Kelly Adams, Special Projects Administrator.
Alyssa Fontaine, City Clerk.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our meeting. And I'd like to introduce Commissioner Davies, who's new to our group. So thank you for being here, and we're excited that you're part of our team.
I'm excited.
And now we'll do the land acknowledgement. The Parks, Culture, and Recreation Board meets on the ancestral land of the tribal people of the Treaty of Medicine Creek, including the Nisqually Indian Tribe and Squaxin Island Tribe. We acknowledge and remember those tribal members not recognized today who were absorbed or relocated into other tribes for survival. We recognize the ancestors and their descendants who are still here. We recognize and respect the tribal people of the Treaty of Medicine Creek as the traditional stewards of this land since time immemorial, and their role today in taking care of these lands in perpetuity. We recognize and have the responsibility to call attention to the histories of dispossession, forced removal, and abridged treaty rights that allowed our nation, state, and city to develop as they have today. We recommend that community members read the Medicine Creek Treaty of 1854. And now I'd like to move on to the approval of the agenda and minutes. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? I am looking for a motion for the approval of the agenda as written.
Make said motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Wheeler. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Fosbury. Are there any discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. A majority carries, motion carries. And welcome, Commissioner Dykstra, to our meeting this evening.
Hi, so sorry I'm late. This holiday week threw me off and I thought it was Tuesday night.
No problem. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Commissioner Dykstra and calling in from my home.
Hi, and we have our new Commissioner Davies here as well, Lori Davies.
Nice
She's
to meet
new
you,
to our
Lori.
commission.
Nice to meet you.
Great. And then we will need to do the approval of our December 6, 2023 minutes. I would like a motion to approve the December 6th minutes. There's a motion.
Also make that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Wheeler. Is there a second for the December 6th meeting minutes?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Fosbury. There's been a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the approval of the December 6th, 2023 minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Motion carries for the approval of the December 6th, 2023 minutes. All right, item number 3 are announcements for this evening. Jenny?
So please welcome our newest Parks Board member. This is Lori Davies. I'll just give a little introduction about her and her background. She was appointed last night by Mayor Ryder, so just jumping right in. Thanks for making it tonight. And so she has been a resident of Lacey for 33 years. She's a frequent user of our parks, and she participated as a citizen in the development of Rainier Vista. That's where she lives near. She is a former director of the North Thurston School District Board for 8 years. She earned her degree in outdoor recreation, so it's right up her alley. And she worked for the State Department of Ecology for many years and is currently retired. So we're very excited to have her and her expertise on our board.
Yay, welcome. Congratulations.
If there's anything else you'd like to add?
No, that was good.
And then also for announcements, just a reminder, there's no meeting in February since we have 2 this month and we have the joint meeting January 23rd.
Okay, and I've got a couple of announcements. I wanted to let you all know, if you haven't heard, former Lacey Mayor and City Council member William A. Bush passed away December 21st. So in 2005, the city recognized him for his lifelong advocacy for parks and recreation by naming the park along Yelm Highway, William A. Bush Park. And so just want to make sure that everybody knew about that. I don't have memorial information at this time, but we'll be happy to share that out once we do get information. And I just to add on quickly, I got a note from the Gateway Rotary, who are going to do the help with the playground replacement at that park, and just saying, you know, how timely it is to be able to do a project at that park and honor him as well in the process. On the line of memorials, a reminder about the memorial bench dedication for former Parks Board Commissioner Ken Balsley. The event will be held on January 18th at 2:00 p.m. at Civic Plaza. And we do have hard copies of the invitation for Parks Board members or anybody else who's interested. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
You say 2:00?
Mhm.
Do you need to know if there's
We'll
gonna be
give you
a
one.
quorum gonna be there?
I think in this case, the quorum won't come into play.
Just don't stand too close to each other.
I know.
Just stay way far away, or sit in Applebee's and look out the window.
We're all cougar here. You never recognize me.
And we're moving on to public comment. So do we have any public comment online? Nope. Okay.
No, we don't have.
And then we don't have any public comment in the build inside.
You're all here for the little library, right? Okay.
Yeah. All right. And then we're moving on to our business items. Wonderwood Park Little Library update from our Girl Scout Troop 45298.
Okay. Thank you so much. You guys wanna.
My name is Emmy Means. I'm an 8th year Girl Scout.
My name is Jessie Ahmed. I'm a Girl Scout too.
We're here to talk about the little library that we put in Wonderwood Park in September. Yeah.
There.
So the reason that we did this project, we were trying to brainstorm ideas to earn our silver award. And we really want to find a way to connect with the community in a way that would give them because we're really passionate about reading and enhancing education. So we really wanted to find a way to enhance that in our own community. And we found the best way to do that would be through a little library. We wanted to encourage reading for fun in kids and adults alike, finding what kind of books can bring you the most joy, because a lot of times kids are discouraged from reading because they don't find a genre that they are interested in. It can help people be exposed to new thoughts and ideas, and it can give more ready access to literature about as many topics as one would want. And the library being supplied by that of the community can also help create a better sense of belonging within the community. So for the project, we were really wanting to give local access to reading materials for all ages, as we said earlier. And we wanted to enhance a park that was kind of close to everyone in our troop. There are currently 4 people in our troop right now. And again, just kind of help the community feel more connected and together as one. We were hoping to get in the process experience with the government process through you guys and through being able to write up a proposal and execute a plan properly and learn about government systems and the way that they work and how to get approval through that. We also want to practice with public speaking and advocacy for us and our ideas and people around us, and just kind of participating in the shared goal of getting people excited about the stories that we read and the stories that people can write. So making the little library, we ended up with a design that had 3 compartments. Our original one had 4, but we figured out that the 2 smaller ones on the right side weren't quite big enough to hold the kind of books that we really wanted. We used all recycled or donated materials. A lot of it came from family members who had old pieces of wood in their backyard, or from people in our community who reached out and gave us money or gave us big resources to use. We painted a mural on the back, which you'll see in the next slide, to represent the forest around us and also the stories around us. There's characters hiding in the trees, and we wanted to make it waterproof, so we have weather tape on the inside of the door to help keep out any moisture, and it is all coated in a waterproof and weatherproof sealant. This is a few pictures from our experience. There's a lot of us working on it and designing it. In the bottom left corner, you can see our final mural. In it, we have pictures from common books like Narnia, Alice in Wonderland. We have some Percy Jackson in there, some Winnie the Pooh, kind of something from everywhere. And there's even more that I'm not naming that you might just need to go out there and look at it. But we all had a lot of fun kind of coming up with this process and executing this plan. And it was just a really cool experience in general. So what we were looking for kind of as a marker of success was we wanted to have at least 20 books at all times, like every time we checked into the library. And on the side, we have the rule, take a book, leave a book, love a book, keep a book. As kind of just like standard rules for the little library. And we wanted to be as hands-off as possible with the community, hopefully putting in more books, though if needed, we wanted to be able to restock if needed. And we also wanted to see no vandalism or destruction of property within it. So immediately we loaded the library with 47 books. With a large range, and the library was almost empty after day 3. this was a huge, awesome accomplishment. We restocked it ourselves, and then 5 days later, we loaded it up, and again, it was almost completely gone. We observed a few new books showing up just after the first week, and I've experienced when I was walking to the library from my house to put in more books, I have had several exchanges with people who are coming in, bringing in more books, and how excited they were to have this library in a park next to them. And it was just a really cool experience. About a month after, we saw the South Sound Reading Foundation, who we partner with to help keep up this library, even after we graduate from being Girl Scouts. They started putting in some books with their stamps on it, and it was mostly kids' books, which we found were the most taken books. We found that kids' books were usually the ones, kids' books, board books, kind of picture books in general, were the ones that are being most taken and most like turned over, the most taken and returned as well. So there was a more need for that than for the chapter books. And now, like if you look at it now, it's very self-sustaining. We have not had to restock it in quite a few weeks. And it is, the community has been recirculating books. So we've seen books come and go. We've seen books be taken home and then come back, which is really awesome that people are circulating it around and adding their own in too. We've also found a few take your own coloring books or magazines in there that we've kept in. Yeah. There we go. So while we were doing this, we learned a lot of new skills and we got a lot of really cool experiences. As I said earlier, we got to learn a lot about the intricacies of our local government. We also practiced perseverance through COVID-19, especially since we first prompted this idea in 2019. And we want to make sure we are meeting the regulations through this waiting process. We also learned how to use like hardworking skills and like power tools through the actually making of the library. And we learned a lot about woodworking and how to use these kind of tools. You want to add something to that?
Speaking of power tools, one of my favorite power tools that I learned to use was a circle saw that you just like cut like straight into wood, and I thought that was pretty cool.
We also had a lot of fun with this project. When we came back to it, we saw stickers from the community on the front, and a lot of times we found painted rocks inside with the books. And that was really cool to see as extra additions from our community that they're adding on. And the best part is the stickers ended up showing on the front where it's completely white and there's nothing actually on it. So they're trying to add and contribute to this library in a way that isn't actually vandalizing it. We're also seeing just kind of the community respond to it and circulate books. Yeah, we got to work with power tools, as Jesse said, was super cool. And we got to work as a team and be super creative for the mural. A lot of times it was brainstorming and just kind of coming up with on the fly of, oh, here's this really cool book that I remember from my childhood, and thinking, oh, Charlotte's Web. How about we add in the Charlotte's Web and that kind of thing. What do you find most fun?
The most fun part, in my opinion, was just the entire building part and the whole construction of the mini library. I really liked all the building and putting together.
So going forward, we realized that we do need to restock the board books ourselves and probably reach out with the South Sound Reading Foundation to tell them that that is the kind of books we need most. We also need to continue to monitor for maintenance needs. We're going to be checking in once every week at minimum. And we've noticed we probably need a stronger door latch. Right now it is held together by a magnet. And we're thinking of changing it out for a stronger one, just because it's a little bit weak when you try to open it. And sometimes with the wind, it can blow open. Though it does have to be pretty strong wind, but still. We also need to monitor for the puddle underneath the little library, because as we packed in the dirt, it did start to rain. We did notice it starting to puddle up. So we just need to make sure that it is staying in place, even though it has concrete at the bottom. We want to make sure that it is as firm and in there and permanent as possible. Again, we saw no vandalism on it yet, but we still wanna make sure that no one is treating it wrongly because we want this to be as clean and pristine for the rest of the community as possible. So just thank you guys again for your continued support for this project. It means a lot to us and I know it means a lot to our community. Just thank you guys again. You guys have any questions?
Vandalism, how much did you have, any?
No vandalism at all. There were some stickers that showed up on the front of the library, but we saw that more as an addition from the community than actual vandalism, because it seemed to be stickers from the kids book Bluey. And we found that really nice.
So were you guys the artists of the
We
mural?
were the artists, yeah.
Wow, cool.
We painted it, we assembled it all ourselves and we painted it all ourselves. And we also learned the safeties of painting with spray paint or paint that could have potentially toxic chemicals in them.
Oh, cool.
I want to say thank you. I love the little library. I absolutely love it. I have gotten tons of books. I'm part of the South Sound Reading Foundation, putting them in from donors, and they were so excited to support this event to me, it's an event. I love going over there. I love seeing the interaction. I love seeing small children looking up and getting to pick stuff with their parents. The parents are engaged with the children. You did really put something together that is community-based. And what you said about sense of belonging, I feel that when I walk over there. I really appreciate you all as a troop doing that and putting your hard work to use.
Where in the park is it?
So much. It's next to the basketball courts, kind of a little bit.
As you go around.
As you go around, it's kind of in between the bathrooms and the basketball court, kind of in the same area as the two big play sets. Thank you guys, this means a lot to us. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for thinking of our community.
You can expand?
Do you have the badge? Do you earn a badge yet for it? Can you show us the badge that you earned?
So our silver badge hasn't yet come in. It's a little pin that's going to go right next to this little banner thing right here.
Okay.
But I mean, if we come in again for another check-in, we can definitely show you guys.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Have a great rest of your day, guys.
You too. Thank you so much. All right, on that good note, a positive note, we'll go to the new staff introductions. All right, thank you. I hope to see you in the park.
Okay, well, again, my name is Sean Finney and I'm the recreation supervisor. This is Byron Shorsman, who we just hired on. Just a quick couple things about him, then I'm gonna let him introduce himself. We put him through the ringer these last couple of weeks with just learning our whole system and processes, and he's getting a crash course on field allocations. As everybody's sending theirs in right now for all of our soccer fields, school fields, baseball fields. There's lots of different shuffling of that he's learning and seeing firsthand. As soon as he gets caught up, there's a whole nother group that's coming in with the new requests. So, and of course, everybody wants all of the fields. And so there's a little bit of give and take for allocating those, but I'm gonna let him talk a little bit about what he's been working on and about a little bit about himself. Yeah, so hello. I have moved to the city of Lacey, I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago. So I'm relatively new to the area. I actually grew up down in Oregon. But I have to say that since moving to the South Sound area, it's been an incredible experience. I love it here. I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. So I'm really happy to be a part of the Parks Department now. Like Sean said, been working a lot on the fields. So much information being thrown my way right now. But I can definitely see the importance that we do here in the parks and seeing what we provide, specifically looking at what I do with the youth sports and all of the little things that I saw the person who was in it before me, Doug, I saw him, a lot of the extra actions that he was taking and understanding what goes on behind the doors a little bit more, and I realized just how important the job is that we do here, so.
So Byron's been with us for a couple of years now. He was one of our part-time staff and he was my go-to guy for everything. So I'm down a part-time staff member. So if you know of anybody who needs some work, he was always there. And so he's been around our programs for a long time. And he will be covering, like I say, not only just the field allocations for the city and school fields, but also overseeing the youth sports, youth programs like Black Hills Gymnastics, yoga classes. So he's got a lot of work coming at him. So we appreciate him being on board and he's picking up everything. He's been doing a great job. So we're happy to have him on for that. So thank you, Byron.
I'm extremely happy to be here.
So we can still root for the Oregon.
Yes, go Ducks.
Yes. Thank you, Byron. Doug's shoes are big shoes to fill.
Yeah,
I
he
know
was great.
he had very boisterous personality. And I had the pleasure of working with both of you when we were doing the park surveys with Jenny and me. So I'm thankful that it's going into capable hands.
Appreciate that, thank you.
Yes.
And I'll chime in real quick and just thank Byron and for just jumping in and all the great things he's been doing so far. And he also comes to us with not only a lot of coaching and parks and recreation experience, but he also has been a teacher.
Yeah, I was doing special education. I taught for about 5 years through, I did K through 12 essentially. So got a lot of experience in education as well, and working with youth in general. So I'm excited to keep it going.
And I'll just, real quick, before we move on, and give a shameful plug for the rack of some of the final numbers that we have before we get out of here. I just wanted to let you know, we finished our season on a great note. We had a couple Toys for Tot drives that the tournament directors were doing the last couple weeks, which brought in a lot of toys that they gave out for this year and going into next year. We ended the season, we'll be up over 150,000 in revenue for the tournaments, just the tournaments that we had out there. And with those tournaments came about a $15 million economic impact for this area. So it was a good season for us out. The rack, one of the best we've ever had. It's my shameful plug for the rack. I didn't know when I was gonna be back, so.
We can always call you back for shameful plug.
Yeah, I gotta give you an update.
I think end of this year, you'll be back for the fee increases. If not.
End
sooner.
of, yeah, well, I
End of
figured
this
I'd probably be back before then, but
And
Never
tell
know.
us about the parking lot.
yeah, well, that's coming along very nicely. I'm surprised at how fast they're getting that done. Although it'll slow down before long, I'm sure, but they got it cleared up, pretty well, so that's a good thing.
Well, thank you both
Yeah.
for being here. Thanks for the introductions again.
Yeah,
Yes, keep up the good work. If you need anything, let us know.
well, we appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
It was nice to meet everybody.
Yeah, excited. Thank
you.
you, Byron. See you on the fields, I'm
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you'll see me. Take care.
The fields and the gyms.
Yeah. Moving on to item C, we are with the volunteer program handbook, and that's with Jenny. What's that?
So this item came up at the last Parks Board meeting and we discussed it, but I don't know that we actually ever brought it to Parks Board. So this is our volunteer guideline handbook for new volunteers. It was in your agenda packet, and really this is just meant to be a welcome and introduction to our department for people volunteering on an ongoing basis. So it outlines all the volunteer opportunities within our department, a brief description, contact person, has a summary of other opportunities within the city. Often people want to volunteer for our department, but they don't have a specific program in mind. So I will send them a list, kind of like our outline indicates of here's everything that you could possibly do. And it works well. It's an option to choose of museum, sports, parks maintenance, and it also covers basics of how to report volunteer hours, safety guidelines, emergency procedures, dress code, general conduct. But keep in mind that this is pretty high level overview because each volunteer is also gonna get specific training depending on which program they're gonna volunteer at. So they're gonna volunteer at teen middle school events, they're gonna get very specific training from that, so. You're welcome for the volunteer.
Would this primarily just be like an online document or? You know, like volunteers now get like a handbook.
Right. And this is a lot of information, so this is not something that goes to like our special event or our one-time volunteers, that's a lot. So it's meant for volunteers who are ongoing, they're gonna be doing, you know, our sports volunteers who are, you know,
It's like a
volunteering for months on end.
resource, a
Right.
resource handbook, yeah, love it.
And how does the volunteer hours report work? It says turn in monthly to the program supervisor. So if I signed up to do stream team, you know, like I'm on a routine basis, do I fill this out and then that's what I would send in?
Right. Typically, this is a sample form. Each supervisor does it probably a little bit differently, and I would say that they reach out to each person. They know who's volunteering for them and say, hey, what are your volunteer hours this month? But it's kind of a sample way for if you're volunteering, this is how you can.
So first I
track.
would go talk to one of these people directly that are on the contact person list, and then they would give me information, and then I would fill out my hours, and then I submit that all to this person.
Yep.
What I need.
And the supervisor would be in contact with you about all the details.
Yeah, I just want to be able to explain it to people when they ask me, like, here's this is what it looks like, and this is how we do it. All right, perfect. Thank you for doing this.
Commissioner Wheeler just had a question of if they should be filling it out, and so I just told them that,
Oh.
yes, your hours as a board do get submitted.
Yeah.
So,
But we don't
Yeah.
have to record.
No,
it. Okay,
we-
because I
we
was gonna
got
say,
it.
I don't have my hours.
Right.
written
no,
down.
but they do get reported.
Reporting those.
Right.
You are officially a volunteer and
Yes,
the hours
we
get
do keep
reported.
track of it.
Are we restricted from volunteering? From anything to do?
No, ask
Oh,
Wendy.
Is that
she's
like a
chair.
conflict of
Yeah.
interest?
That's because when you go to the events, people ask all the time, you know, what other things or what other opportunities, and so I've been telling them, go to the website to volunteer, but they're having a hard time navigating how to go through the volunteer process. So I'm trying to figure out like a streamlined way of getting them there. There's a few steps, but I think you said that we're gonna work on updating that, so it's a little clearer on getting like to where we need to, so. Figure it out something. And I'm not that computer savvy. I'm not gonna say I know how to do all these things, but.
Better than me.
Well, the easiest way is, so once Jenny's replacement comes on board, because and I just have to say, thank you to Jenny for putting this all together. This was part of her job as her former, aquatics and volunteer program supervisor. She did a great job putting it together, and it also incorporates some of the policies in our city policy manual. And then it adds all the park stuff in too, which is a lot. I mean, we had, 550 volunteers last year? So we have a lot of volunteers in the department. So she did a great job of putting that together. But we'll have a new person that'll be in that role, and so that's the easiest way. You can just connect. That's part of the reason we have a one contact for our department, so that people have someone to go to, and they can, our staff can help fit, the opportunities with what the.
So if I just call and say,
Desire.
I'm bored, I wanna volunteer to do something, Jenny would be my.
Jenny would be
Until
until
Monday.
Monday. And then we have Scott Carter, who will be in that position. Of course, there's gonna be some training, but
Is it
Oh.
a
So I should
new
have-
hire to
That's
the
a new one.
department
Yeah.
or not okay?
yep, that's Jenny's replacement. And he starts Monday, so.
Nice.
All right, how exciting, all right, well,
Thank you for sharing that.
congratulations.
But you backfilled your job, yay.
Yay. Thank you for putting this together for me, I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Are there any other questions for Jenny regarding volunteering? Volunteer packet? Okay. Woodland Creek Park Disc Golf Agreement with Justin. here.
Actually, it's gonna be me and I have to apologize. My power went out. So
Oh.
I'm here, but I'm not here. I'm trying to, anyway.
She said the disco like you said.
She said yes.
Are you in your car?
Well, I'm in my car now because I was gonna go try to put lights on so I could actually see, because I can put the light here and you can kind of see me.
Yeah.
But I don't think you guys really care.
Way to
So
make,
I'm here,
making it
huh?
work. Way to make it work, Sue. I'm
I'm
impressed.
trying. So I'm here to present the new contract with the Thurston County, the Disc Association. The relationship with the city of Lacey goes back a number of years. They actually constructed the course. They do most of the maintenance on the course. And in lieu of doing all of that work, they are allowed to do 3 tournaments a year. One being in the summer, one can be in the fall, spring, or 2 in the spring. But they go do a lot of maintenance. They do a lot of trail work. They install additional discs, what are they called, tees or baskets. And they also have practice baskets that are in the actual closer to the park, not across the river. So they've done a lot to keep that going and to advocate for that sport. And nothing has changed in this contract for the last few years except for a address. So we're not adding anything different, anything new. We're just wanting to continue on with the relationship that we've had. Anybody have any questions?
Good vote on this.
Yeah, this is an action item. All right. Are there any questions for Sue? Okay.
Lights off again.
I know.
All right, I will need a motion to approve the Woodland Creek Park Disc Golf Agreement.
I will make that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Wheeler. Do I have a second? Commissioner Larson, thank you. We have to push the button. Motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, motion carries. You have the approval of the Woodland Creek Park Disc Golf Agreement. Thank you, Sue, for filling in for Justin. And good luck with your power.
And I'll note Justin has a staff meeting tonight with all his part-time staff for the Lacey Community Center and Jacob Smith House. So that's why he couldn't be here. He wanted to be here.
Oh, I was kind of disappointed. We were
Yeah.
talking history books last time.
They're doing good stuff tonight.
Yeah,
So.
they are. Oh, we gotta tell him congratulations. Hope it sounds fun. All right, and our next item is the city email address and advisory board stipend program by Kelly Adams. There's a lot of people here. Kelly Adams, Special Project Administrator, Alyssa Fontaine, City Clerk, and Shannon Kelly Fong, Assistant City Manager.
Well, thank you, Commissioner, and I have heard Shelley before, so don't worry about that one.
It was broken on my thing.
Well, good evening, Commissioners. It's always really fantastic coming to the Parks, Culture and Recreation Board. I always walk away from this board filled with happiness. You all get to deal with a lot of great subject matters like the read, the library, and the park. I mean, just fantastic stuff. But we're here tonight to talk about the advisory board member updates for 2024. If you recall back around this time, maybe kind of March timeframe, we came to this board and we talked about an advisory board stipend program, and we went around to several other boards and talked about this program as well. So part of what we want to talk about today is circling back to that program and then introducing some other updates that we're anticipating for 2024. To include, and I'm going to go briefly over the new changes, but then I'm going to hand it over to the team that actually did the heavy lifting and all of the legwork, and I couldn't have done it without them. So I just want to say thank you to Kelly Adams and to Alyssa Fontaine for everything they've done to get us to this point. So we're going to talk about some new email addresses for this board, as well as the Civic Clerk board portal access on our Civic Clerk program, the stipend program itself. So the Lacey City Council did approve the stipend program, and so we are going to be implementing it here in January and February, and we'll get into the details of how you can opt in or opt out of that program moving forward, as well as providing some of the new commissioners a little background on what the program is. And then also talking about a demographic survey that we're going to be asking advisory board members to take, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And Kelly and Alyssa are gonna be here to provide some support after the meeting, after we go over these items, if you want to kind of work in real time with the two of them to access some of the materials that we're gonna be talking about. So with that, I'm gonna hand it over to Kelly and Alyssa, and again, thank you to the two of you for putting all of this together.
Thank you, Shannon. And as introduced, I'm Melissa Fontaine, City Clerk. So first on our updates, the city has issued new email addresses to all of our advisory board members. These email addresses are for official board communications only, with staff, how to receive board packet materials, anything within the scope of your role as an advisory board member. There is no right to privacy in use of city issued technology, so email addresses are a part of that. Emails relating to the conduct of business, of public business are considered public records, and as all of you know who have taken your OPMA training, those are subject to disclosure pursuant to the Public Records Act. So those email addresses will also be used for your civic clerk login profiles, and that is where the platform that we issue our board packet materials, public meeting media is also streamed through that portal, our approved minutes and everything related to. So you'll be able to see past, present, and future using that portal. So as mentioned, we're going to be mindful of public records requirements with the use of our emails. And then as Shannon also mentioned, we will have some login assistance. We have some information for you all on getting all of those set up for you. I've lost my mouse.
Oh, I see.
All right, so Civic Clerk Board Portal. So benefits, as mentioned, this is a board member access only that your city issued email address will let you enter into, but we also have a public portal as well. So it is public facing. All the materials that you are seeing as far as the meeting materials are available to the public as well. This will give you access to just more of a live interactive during the meeting. As a board member, you're able to do notes, keep track of some things that you may want to follow up on. And be able to kind of proceed through the live meeting process. You'll be able to join the meeting as you sit here today, and whether you're remote or here on site. Some future features that we'll also cover is the electronic roll call. This is tied to your profiles using the city issued email addresses, and this will actually help tie into our attendance tracking for the advisory board stipend program. Electronic voting is also a part of future features that we can we'll cover and discuss a little bit more in detail. Any questions so far? So the Civic Clerk Board Portal, once we your city issued email addresses will have an invite already in there for you to authenticate your Civic Plus profile. And once that's all set up, you are able to sign into the board portal and join the relevant meeting for your advisory board. So these are some screenshots to kind of see what it will look like. So in joining the meeting, you are prompted to select your roll call. So there, for all of you, it will be a present and voting selection, and you can save that. If you do not select this, staff are also able to do this. So don't fret if you will be marked here and present if you are actually in attendance at the meeting. So this will tie into our attendance records as mentioned, so that this will be tracked throughout all meetings attended for the stipend program, as well as any other data elements needed. So the electronic voting, this is an option that will be available in the future. Casting a vote, if you are logged in during a meeting and a motion is made and seconded, once staff go and cast the vote, a window will pop up for all those who have joined the meeting, and they will allow you to select your vote. And once that is saved, and again, this is something that can be captured by staff as well, but this is an option in the future to be able to self-serve that a little bit.
So you can save your individual vote.
You can. And once all votes are captured, this is what the public sees. So this gets saved on our public portal display. This is available to the public, both in the past as well. So we can go to previous meetings and go and look at all the motions and votes that were captured for that meeting. But it'll update in real time as the meeting is live.
Will that create minutes for you?
Does not create minutes for us, but it does help facilitate our minute taking. Absolutely. There's a whole staff side of civic clerk as well, so. And then for the board portal, you will have an option to leave the meeting once it has concluded. It will not, if you do forget this, it will automatically log you out after a certain time frame, so you're not able to join 2 meetings. So that is something that it will pop up for the day of the meeting, as staff indicate that you're able to join. And I am going to stop share real quick. And we're gonna do a brief tour. Jenny Wilson. Okay, so I am signed into the board portal. So this is what you all will see when you have logged in. I have access to see a lot more meeting types, so you will see Parks Board only, so don't worry. With these meetings, it will auto-populate to kind of see all your agendas, so you're able to filter through and see it'll start with your most current and then go down by date for past meetings. So for this evening, and it won't give me the join meeting. I am not an assigned board member for your meeting. So that is something that staff do not have that option in joining a meeting, as we're not present voting members. So that's just something that we won't see for this demonstration. So this will allow you to view the agenda in a couple of different formats. So we've got everything here that you can scroll down. It gives you just the single agenda, or you can move over to the packet. It gives you options to add notes, like I said, or anything that as you're previewing before the meeting, during the meeting, after. Any notes made in this system are considered public, so they are not private, and they are disclosable if requested. So down below here, if I can move this guy, here we go. We've got some other tabs, so minutes, same thing, it's going to give you, repopulate your meetings, it'll show all approved uploaded minutes. So this is just minutes that you've approved at previous meetings. And then the media will, and I won't do it here because I don't want it to start a whole nother stream, but it will show you this live stream and the save stream on the public portal. With that, I'm gonna turn it over to Kelly, unless there's any questions, sorry. Yes.
So with our new City of Lacey email addresses and our Outlook accounts, is the city backing up our emails?
Yeah.
Can we delete if we see something as transitory, or should we just leave it in the inbox?
A great question. So you are able to delete, sort, and everything in your mailbox. They have already been captured before they reach your inbox, and all emails sent are already captured before they leave your outbox. So everything we have in an archive, you can maintain your inboxes as you deem appropriate. And yeah, you can go ahead and delete, and everything, we still have them. It's not a hard delete.
Can I migrate the stuff from my prior private account from last year into the Outlook account, like just forward all 37 whatever emails?
It might be a manual process. If you went through and you have a folder or have all that organized in a way that and it's relating to your advisory board business only, absolutely forward it over to your city issued email address, and it'll capture it all for you and be in one inbox. Great question. I don't want to manage 2 inboxes.
Are we paused on screen sharing?
I did not know. I apologize for that.
That only happened when you shrunk the screen.
Okay,
So nothing was lost.
nothing was lost.
Just go ahead and let's stop the share and then restart it with the presentation again. I think that would fix it.
Thank you all.
Teamwork.
Thank you, Billy.
Yes. So as Shannon mentioned, the advisory board stipend program was adopted by the city council in October. And it's exciting because this is actually the first advisory board meeting of the year where this is in effect. So the background of the program, just as a quick review, this is meant to remove some of the financial barriers to participating in government, right? So this is meant to offset the costs that our volunteer board members may incur just to get here. Everyone spent some type of resource to get here this evening. And so we want to make sure that when people are considering applying, that cost of transportation, childcare, internet connectivity, that those aren't barriers to participating. Okay, the next slide there. So this is an example. These are 3 profiles of different community members that would be board members volunteering and what their cost breakdown is just to be at the meeting. So our first community member is a retiree, no children at home, relatively low cost, but also think about this as on a fixed income. So even though it's only reflecting $3, especially during inflation times, that $3 is precious and could be spent on something else. Community members 2 and 3 both have children, different ages, different childcare costs, but we still see that that's pretty significant. It's costing them $53 just to be here in the room. Right, so our next slide shows us that these are the advisory boards that this applies to right now. And this could apply to any future ad hoc advisory boards or task forces that are focused on single issues. So in the past, like we've had the work group on homelessness, which had quite a few members that were spending quite a few hours here working on a single issue. So this is the fine print, and this is that participants need to opt in. And that's one of the reasons we're here tonight, to make sure that you have all of the assistance and as few barriers as possible to opting in or opting out of this program. Each year, we are going to ask around the same time, would you like to opt in? Would you like to opt out? And we have created a simple online mechanism for you to do that. That is actually in your inbox right now. The amount of the stipend is $50 per meeting that you attend with an annual cap of $500. Those stipends are going to be distributed quarterly, and we encourage you to seek tax guidance. The city will not be providing tax guidance on the stipends. And so this does not apply to regional advisory board members or council members or city employees. We will be taking information from this program. We'll be learning from it and reporting back to the city council on its efficacy and, efficacy, was that the right pronunciation of that? Efficacy, thank you, on the impacts of the program. And so the trusted communicators that you can rely on to hear from this program are the city manager's office, the finance department, or the city clerk.
Does it have a sunset period, or is the legislation that was passed, the ordinance, is it ongoing, or we're gonna review this in 2 years, or?
I can speak to that, Julie.
Sure.
Unless you want to.
It was passed by resolution and there was no sunset period included.
But per policy, it has to receive funding in each budget year, and we certainly want to do a study, to see what the impacts are. We recognize as part of the research on this that it's not gonna be something that potentially changes what and who are participating in advisory boards overnight. So we do recognize that it's gonna take some time, but per the policy, it requires budget approval on an annual basis.
Do you have a significant number that can't be on an advisory board because of cost?
You know, that's something that we're looking to see what kind of gaps in voices and representation we might have. And so Kelly's actually gonna go after and explain some of the demographics so we can see where are the gaps, where might we need to do some outreach and engagement to see if people might be interested in joining our advisory boards. And so Alyssa's gonna speak to what you can expect as far as this opt-in process.
Thank you. So as mentioned, you have this in your email. So Smartsheet is our platform that we are using to issue out a update request form. And like Kelly said, this will come out annually. Some of you may have already seen it. You can see some head nods over here. So this will come out annually. It is a opt-in request, but it's also an opportunity to check your contact information as we have it, make any corrections, updates if needed. And once you open the request, it will prompt to answer 5 questions or correct any information that we have. So street address will populate for what the city currently has. If it is correct, no need to make any adjustments. There is a drop down on the selection if you'd like to opt in or opt out. And opting in, obviously accepting the terms of the program. So once completed, the form is submitted, you will get a confirmation. If you choose to opt in, you will see the confirmation up here on the screen. And an email from our electronic payment platform, PaymentWorks, will come at a future date. It is not immediate, so that is something that we'll be working with our finance department to have sent within the following month. And any questions, my contact information is always available. So as mentioned, the trusted communications, you will see something that comes through from Smartsheet. It will have my direct contact information as well, but that is where the update request form will be coming from, as well as PaymentWorks, and that is initiated by our finance department. So they are our vendor platform to authenticate our vendors and issue payments if you're opting into the program. Then we're going to kick it back over to Kelly for demographic.
So the last item that we'll be asking for, and again, we're staying after, if you take away one thing from this presentation, it's that we're staying after. So we're collecting demographic information because we've never collected it before. We don't have a good perspective on what demographics are for our board members. And what we really want to do is to identify missing perspectives and improve our outreach and our engagement efforts with the community. We can't answer a lot of questions right now about who is serving and who do they represent, right? So we need to start our long-term data collection efforts to have a baseline of demographic information to compare locally, regionally, state level, and federal level. And so this is an anonymous survey. So we're protecting this data because it can be pretty sensitive and personal, and we want to make sure that it is never associated with any board members. So you fill out the anonymous survey and that is saved in a completely separate database. If you can go to the next slide, Alyssa. So these are the 11 questions that we are asking, and where possible, we've aligned this to how it's collected in the census so that we have some direct comparison that we can make. But we've tried to keep this as short and as simple as possible. And we have this link for you. We have 7 iPads in the back of the room if you need a device and you want to stay after. And we can help you with your email access, the demographic survey, and the opt-in form. Are there any questions?
Oh, I guess, so all the email communications, is that to our new, like the consent form and everything, that's in our new email address that we're gonna get tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
We will issue the email addresses, the temporary passwords. We have some instructions on setting access to those inboxes on personal devices, as well as some instructions on getting into Civic Clerk once we access the email inbox. That last slide, I'm sorry, just went through my brain. The last one, is this survey going out to people currently serving? as commissioners, or is this going out to people that are interested? I mean, how is that working?
That's a great question. So it's an anonymous survey, so we're surveying our current board members. We'll also distribute that survey to applicants, but it is in no way associated with their application. That data will never be used as part of the application process. That will be held in a separate, so that we can compare who is serving, who is applying, and that helps us to understand where we should put recruitment efforts, where we need to engage more. So it's not used in the negative perspective of keeping people out of the application process. It's really more in the positive approach of getting out there and getting more community outreach.
Sure, good one, just to add on to what Kelly was saying. So we're gonna be taking a comprehensive look at how individuals from the community apply for what that process is, to get on an advisory board. And so we aren't going to, starting in 2024, have the demographic questions for applicants just broadly for advisory boards. But the idea would be that we are gonna be working as part of that comprehensive update. And that is going to potentially be part of the questions that we ask, so we can see kind of the pools too that we're getting. And as Kelly mentioned, that can really help us inform where we go out into the community and try to get more information out on our advisory board. So it is likely that we might come back in front of this board with, some more presentations on just changing the advisory board recruitment process here in the near future.
For those, one of like the forums that we go to, I would think like some of those would be places where you could ask. I mean, if we're asking people from the community to be on boards, it seems like before they even get into the application process that, because before they're even applying, we should know, I mean, how are we getting it? How are we reaching them before they even apply? I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but before, I mean, it's a community outreach and a lot of people are scared to join it. I've asked and talked to a lot of people and it's like, I don't know anything about it. I don't know how to do it. I don't know. It's too complicated language, there's a lot of things before they even will apply. So is it going to go out before people even apply at some point? Or is it only application and people currently serving on the board?
So currently, it is only the people serving on advisory boards, but here in 2024, the clerk's office is actually going to be doing that comprehensive look at that whole application process to take a look at the things you just mentioned. Do we ask questions that are, onerous? Do we ask questions that maybe people are like, well, I'm not going to even attempt to answer because I don't want to answer this. So we'll do a holistic review of that and hopefully come back with a recommendation to streamline that process to make it so that it is more accessible to the community. And as part of that, we'll evaluate adding similar demographic questions so that we can be informed again of what's our applicant pool like comparative to what our actual advisory boards are.
But those application questions aren't gonna be on this first survey.
The demographic questions?
No, the application process questions are not gonna be on this first survey. You're gonna do that at a later date.
Correct, yeah, we'll
Yeah.
take a look at the application as a kind of a standalone from this
Yeah,
right now.
that's
We're
fine.
trying to, get the advisory board program, the stipend program started here. And so this is all part of current commissioners and advisory board members. And then hopefully eventually we'll be rolling out some updates to the whole application process for advisory boards. Pools of applicants.
So it started like this and then we're going out, like getting a broader base as we go out. We're the small part of the.
You are the vanguard.
We are the vanguard.
Spear tip.
I feel like we're taking a SAT.
The first.
Slow down.
I just want to make sure it goes out wider than what's currently serving or what's in the dockets of already come in as an applicant, because I think that's where the true litmus is of who our community members are. If they can even get to the application process, I think that's the starting block part. And that's the part I'm concerned with, is that we're getting that diversity or people feeling accepted and safe and welcome. And I know that the article went out. I saw the article for the surveys, which was awesome. So I keep sharing it to all my friends and neighbors. So I just want to make sure it keeps getting bigger, I
Well,
guess.
we hear you, Chair Dickman, and like I said, we'll likely be back to talk a little bit more
I
about
got a
that.
question. What if one of the board members, and I'm thinking of myself of one coming up, that an exhaustive effort, beyond the board meeting. I'm kind of on this pickleball stuff and I have a lot of background asphalt parking lots. Schools in the summer aren't used for parking. And I know with the Olympics coming up, with the pickleball's an event now, we're gonna get probably request to have that. Now, if I participated in an exhaustive effort, mileage and all of that, how would that be handled? If I volunteered for it?
So I believe the question, Commissioner Larson, and please tell me if I'm wrong, is about kind of filling out the application in the future for advisory board positions or?
No, I would like to work with the city, and the staff assigned and find sites that can be applicable for, so you can tell there's pickleball courts on Saturday at this church, at this school we got, and we paint dots. I've got some ideas how we can make it work. I think you're gonna get, I brought it up before, but if that ended up being a exhaustive effort, I expect to spend a lot of hours on it if I get, if we all agree to it. To do that, how do you?
That might be
Say
like
commissioners
another-
working outside of just doing these meetings? Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about? Doing
exhaustive,
extra hours?
Part of through this organization or the.
So
working as a commissioner related to the stipend, is that your question?
Well, for example, I've designed most of the schools in North Thurston, the parking lots and all that. I know a lot of schools in the summertime, they're not all used, parking lots, so we could have pickleball courts at those places in the parking lots. And churches, all kinds of places that we could accommodate the community that want pickleball. I had my family up for a week and we were outside and they were playing pickleball. I mean, they all loved it. I put one on my driveway with duct tape. And they just played the heck out of my grandkids and stuff. So I think it's gonna get stronger as the Olympics come on, the Summer Olympics, because it's gonna be a sporting event. There, so,
So Commissioner Larson, I believe you're asking about a program
yeah.
rather than not the stipend program, right? Or are you relating it?
Well, I guess what I'll say it, would love to volunteer my time. But if I go to a bunch of sites and burn up 4 tanks of gas, I mean, it's just, how do you handle an exhaustive stipend?
So, yeah, Commissioner Larson, I can tell you the stipend itself, the way the policy is written is specific to the meetings. And so it's an
Okay.
advisory board meeting, so it wouldn't include other types of
Okay,
events
I get
that
it, okay.
this group might be putting on,
Just
or you
for
might be
meeting.
doing some volunteer work.
Compensation.
Yeah, we don't get to fill out an invoice or anything like that.
Okay.
You have to put that on this sheet, the volunteer book. You gotta put it.
Sure.
You go to each park.
Yeah, you
Then
gotta.
Wendy to
submit that
sign it.
Yeah,
And then she'll give you your $50.
yeah, you gotta give it to Jenny Wilson, you sign it here.
I think that's a great clarification.
It is, yeah.
We do have board members who do other volunteerism in addition to these meetings.
Oh, would you like to introduce another park member or two, Commissioner Lynch?
Sure, this is Ransom, he's 2, and this is Thomas, he's 4. Can you say
Oh,
hi?
welcome to our meeting. Oh, hi, future commissioners in the making.
Yes. Their daddy's trying hard to entertain them. They're playing floor hockey,
I
girls.
know they get the cookies, like, we will pay you in Keebler elf cookies. Is there any other questions from the commissioners?
Well, thank you, commissioners. This was our first go through, so thank you for being so kind to us.
Thank you.
And like we said, we'll be here, we'll stay around to help individuals if they want to practice logging into the portal, practice logging into emails, and can check the email has gotten to your inbox. So we will be here to assist.
Okay, I will need that, so please stay.
Are these like the?
I may need all 3 of you.
To get into them? So, those-
Yeah, so if you don't want to type in links, you can scan those QR codes. right
Nice.
there. And I have more copies of that if you need that.
Thank you.
Yeah, go for it. Yep, let me squeeze behind you that.
Oh, yeah. So
Thank
does,
you.
so does this have its own like,
Moving
its
on
own like
to,
app that you log into for like, or is it just part of Outlook? We're still doing like a meeting, aren't we? Sure.
We'll do it.
Okay.
So we're moving on to F, upcoming joint work session preparation, and that will be given by Jen.
All right, well, thank you. Just a quick update. As we had shared with you last meeting, the format for the joint Parks Board City Council work session is gonna be a different format. If you're new, you won't notice a difference, but those of you that were here last year will notice a difference. So rather than including a department overview, we'll just be reporting on the 2023 accomplishments and the 2024 work plan. Jenny's already put together slides and talking points. She's gonna be meeting with Chair Goodwin, so I'll basically, what the format will be is that I will introduce, and then everybody will introduce themselves. And then Jenny and Chair Goodwin will co-present a couple of slides. I think it's like 9 or so slides. But the goal is to be about 30 minutes for the Parks Board. Historical Commission will also be there that night, as will Planning Commission. Yeah, it should be pretty straightforward. We'd love to see all of you in person, but there is a Zoom option. It'd be nice to know ahead of time, just so that we know who to expect in person. So if you could just let Jenny know, she'll send an email out, and if you could just let her know over the email which way you'll be attending, that'll be great. Any questions about the upcoming work session? January 23rd,
I'll be there.
6 o'clock, right here. Great, we're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Jenny, for putting all my speaking parts together. Appreciate my script. Very much appreciate it. This says I might vote requested.
Oh, no,
That was for D.
it's just that, yeah, just
Indicating that.
Oh,
identifying what the star means.
oh, okay. Oh, thank you. Okay, we're moving on to reports. Commissioners, are there anything the commissioners would like to report at our meeting this evening? Nothing.
Well, there's not really a report, but kind of a question that I was given by a local military organization and local military families. But basically, from the Travis Manion Foundation, they're trying to do community outreach programs, and they specifically wanted to do something with parks, which is why they approached me, and they want to do it here in the city of Lacey. And so basically, they're looking for an activity within a park or area that they can bring their mass group of supporters to come out and help clean up. So it's like there's trash pickup, planting trees, something that effect. So I wanted to just kind of bring that to the board and the city of Lacey, that they're really interested. There'll probably be about 20-30 volunteers, maybe more if younger children, not young children, but children are allowed to participate as well in the activity. This is something the city or the parks are supportive of. I would love to connect you guys with the representatives at Travis Manion Foundation.
I will follow up with you and yes.
Yes. And I'm sorry I have the screen off. I had surgery, so yeah. Sorry.
Hope you're well, but yeah, there's definitely opportunities for all of the above, and I'll follow up with you.
Yeah, and they just want to, come in and, they got trash picker uppers or whatever you need, but I just didn't know what, you or Sue could tell us, the places that need the help the most.
Yeah, there's ivy removal, there's some tree planting things coming up, so yeah, I'll send you some options.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Any other commissioners with anything to report? So I have a report. I want to thank Nate and Jenny for being out planting trees at Lake Lois Habitat. It was cold, it was wet, it was dirty, it was wet, it was cold. A lot of hiking, rugged terrain, and Nate was in shorts, which I still can't, I don't know how you did that, but I'm impressed. You're impressive. But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed working with facilities on getting the trees in. I think people worked really hard and were really excited to do that work. And I didn't realize how big Lake Lois was. I thought it was just that Safeway piece and up on those two sides of the road, but I was in a whole different area past by the senior center. So I found like a whole new place to go have fun. The ducks were out. It was a beautiful day. So I want to thank you, the people on the team for facilities. It was amazing. And thank you, Nate, for being out there. Our youth coming out to help us, and Piper was a youth that was out there as well. So that was really exciting. It was a great.
Mostly fir trees?
No, there was cedars, hemlock, what else? Spruce. We had a spruce. The western cedars went closer to the water because they like lots of water. And then the hemlock, which kind of looks like the yew, and the oldest yew is planted at Lake Lois. It's over 100+ years old. So it's beautiful. It's huge. It's beautiful. It's got a huge canopy on it. And I learned a lot about planting trees, of like where they cut everything down. And we got nurse logs that we had to be mindful of planting it there. So it was just really informative, and everyone was really engaged, and I just appreciated it very much. It was a great day, except for it was cold and it was wet. And it was dirty.
Hard work.
But that's all I have to report. Yeah. Recreation manager? Is he still on?
Yep, I'm still on. Nope, I'm on.
All right.
With Mr. For the
And then
World.
You're even darker than you were before. Oh.
I'm still in the same deal. So, we've got our new, as Jen mentioned earlier, we have our new staff starting on Monday. Scott will be starting bright and early at 8 o'clock on Monday morning, and we're really excited to finally get our staff up and get kind of a full house. So that's going to be fun. The parking lot at the rack, they're just moving along real quick, and so that's kind of nice. So that's going to be a really nice addition when it gets done this spring. We do have our new concessionaires. This will be their first weekend tournament. So Reed and Amy are excited to get started on that, and we're doing the transition. And we have our new beverage contract with Pepsi that will go into place too. They're going to be switching out with Coke first of next week. Everybody had great holidays, and we're already gearing up for spring and summer. The community center is closed down for this week and next week for their annual maintenance. So they're getting a bunch of stuff done there. Paint, touch up, that type of stuff, going through, doing inventory, cleaning the lights, all the stuff that you don't really normally have time to do. So everybody's excited for 2024.
Thank you, Sue. That's
You're
awesome.
welcome.
Yeah, thank you for all you do, making sure we have beverage and food at our games.
I know, it's important.
Yes, we do not want to have people out without their snacks. That would be terrible. Thank you for keeping up with all that.
Thank you.
Parks maintenance supervisor?
Yeah, I'll give that report on behalf of Jamie.
Thank you.
They have been doing quite a bit of planting in addition to the 150 seedlings that we did at Lake Lois Habitat. They also did 370 seedlings at Long Lake, Cuyo, and Wonderwood and Watchers Park. They installed the Ken Balsley Memorial Bench at Civic Plaza, as we've talked about. They've conducted the fourth quarter play toy inspections, and they've removed tree stakes from about 140 street trees planted last year and replaced worn batter boxes on synthetic turf fields at the rack. Report from Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie. Make sure he gets told his team that they're awesome. Yeah, they're great. And Russell was making sure I was organized. He made sure those people were keeping eyes on me, trying to get lost in the senior parks planner.
The only thing that I have to report is the Woodland Creek Bridge replacement project is moving forward. We had a quick kickoff meeting with design consultants and staff. The schedule is currently set to be out to add in June. but the construction timeline will partially be determined by the State Environmental Protection Act permit. So hopefully that all goes through as planned.
Just a curiosity question, are they gonna do like a prefab bridge?
Yep, prefabbed bridge, still,
Not very.
it's not gonna be significantly longer than the current one.
Yeah.
Yep,
But it has railings, right?
yes, the new
Okay.
one will have railings and additional fencing that goes a little bit along the shore creek.
Cause the one currently does not have railings. And was that on our last meeting, the picture that we showed at the comprehensive, plan? Was there railings on it? Or did that get added at a?
The current bridge does not have railings, but we may have shown a picture of what
I think the artist
new one.
rendition, like, yeah, it had like railings on it.
Did it have railings on it? Okay. Cause I saw that on there. I was like, I don't remember seeing those on those.
Where did you see it?
Parks, like, huh?
Where did you see the picture?
The one when we did the work session last year with Commissioner Wheeler and I were doing the presentation.
Oh, I
The
think,
one that was like just a,
oh yeah, it was probably a picture of what the new one is gonna look like.
yeah, but I don't remember it having railings. So when I saw
Oh.
the picture of the new one, I was like, oh, there's gonna be railings on it. That's smart.
Maybe we showed the old picture.
Oh.
There will definitely
I'm
be
sorry.
railings.
Can't recall.
There will definitely be railings. Okay.
There will be railings.
All right, just a confirmation. check.
Yep.
I like. And then, director,
Yeah, thank you. Couple of things, since you last met, you had the heads up that these were gonna happen, potentially, and they did, so city council. The meeting nights change was approved at their December 7th city council meeting, so they went from Thursdays to Tuesdays, so that's official. And they did away with the council committees, so. And then the 2024 budget was approved at the December 21st city council meeting. I wanted to give just a brief update on the Great Cuyo Park Phase 1A. Our new 90% design is supposed to be arriving January 17th for city review, and then we'll be working toward 100% design by mid-March. So Commissioner Larson will get you that new copy, hard copy, once we get that. So that's moving right along. And then the last thing I wanted to note is that we did offer a position, the executive assistant position, so Sarah Smith's replacement, and the person did accept, so his name is Carter Gibson, and he'll start January 22nd. I'm hoping to get him at the joint work session, and that'll be the first opportunity to meet him. If that doesn't work out with the schedule, it'll be the March meeting that you'll meet him, so. You'll get to know him really well. He's gonna be involved just like Sarah was with the Parks Board. So
is it Gibson or Gibson?
Gibson, Gibson. Yeah, so we're excited about that.
Yay.
That's all.
All right, thank you, Jen. And then everybody has the upcoming events, so hopefully that we'll all get to attend, or at least some of them. I'm hoping to see more people, especially the January 23rd. Come out and support me as I read stuff. Cheer me on. All right, if there's nothing further for the good of the order, we can adjourn our meeting. It is now 6:53 p.m. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you for being here.
So